Psalm 89. I'm here in our little chapel here at the church I serve. It's a little place that I like to sometimes get away. It's easy to kind of get lost in kind of like, administrative thoughts sitting in an office type of space. And so I come up here periodically to write, to pray, often practice my sermons up here. I love being in here in the late afternoon. We're a little bit late in the afternoon for it to be seen right now, but usually there's a period where the sun's coming in these stained glass windows from the back, and just the patterns that the sun, the light makes on the chairs here and on the floor is just, it's a beautiful, beautiful space. So I'm here this afternoon. I want to reflect on Psalm 89, and this is again one of those psalms that it's a little long to read right now. So take a moment, pause this, read it, and then come back. Okay, so I hope you read it. So it'll make a lot more sense if you did. Our poet for this psalm today is Martha Spong, and hers is called The Story of My Life. She writes, "The story of my life, Lord. Every time I trust, someone hurts me. Every time I feel assured, something goes wrong. And so I question where I stand with you. I pray for others, for their healing and for their safety, for their bodies, their minds, and their spirits. And I believe you will be steadfast for them, as if you love everyone and not just me. Maybe we all have this story. Our lives feel fleeting and fractious, unsustainable in the ultimate. How long, oh God? How long?" So when I read Psalm 89 this morning, I found myself kind of going on like this roller coaster of emotions. That starts out with like this, these majestic words about God's steadfast love and God's power, and talking about the north and the south, you created them. You have a mighty arm. Righteousness and justice are the foundations of your throne, and steadfast love and faithfulness go before you. Like there's this awesome triumphal sense. And then it moves into talking about David, about the servant, his servant David, who would become the king, the anointed one, that, lifting him up. And there's a whole lot of other stuff about David we're not going to get into right now, but this promise that there's going to be this line that's going to come from him that will be established forever. I mean, there's just like this crescendo, and then it crashes when you get to verse 38. But now you've spurned and rejected him. You're full of wrath against your anointed. You've renounced your covenant with your servant. Now, this isn't God's doing. David did a lot of this himself. His rape of Bathsheba and his murder of her husband, Uriah. How long, Lord, will you hide yourself forever? How long will your wrath burn like fire? Where's your steadfast love of old? So we've been up here, and now we're crashed back down here. And then it ends with, "Blessed be the Lord forever. Amen and amen." I kind of felt tired after reading it. I climbed up to this mountaintop and then went down in the valley, and now it's sort of pulling me back up. It's like, in Reverend Spong's poem, that there's times you're going to trust and then you crash because someone breaks that trust, or you feel assured and then there's that thing that comes and things fall apart again. I found this psalm to be a psalm of life. A psalm of just life. That there's times that things feel like, we're just sailing along. And then times of uncertainty and doubt and questioning. And I find, though, that it is in those spaces. Those places in the valley. Those places of questioning. Those places of saying, okay, what's next? Where not only we seek God, but I feel like God shows up. Not that God doesn't show up in the other times. I'm not saying that, but it feels like those are the places where it becomes so much clearer. And we're in one of those spaces right now. There's a word that sometimes people use called a liminal space. It goes back, I think it's to the Latin, but it referred to the strip or the thing that divided one room from another, between, and so that liminal space was that place where you're not out of one room, but you're also not in the next, like you're sort of in between. And I feel that's where we are, our country and in our world. We're in that liminal space. And so Psalm 89 really spoke to me that, this is a psalm about the liminal. That they thought they had it all figured out with David. Things were all good. And then it crashed. But no matter what, it's still that same promise at the end. Blessed be the Lord forever. Amen and amen.